1 year after the death of George Floyd and the protests that followed in the summer of 2020, the Indiana State Museum is reflecting on what happened and why. Artwork flooded downtown, painting over boarded up windows. Our Stephanie Wade tonight explaining why the museum wants people to remember this and why the artists hope their message continues.
This time last year, we saw artwork on full display throughout downtown. Murals decorated Massachusetts Avenue celebrating the Black Lives Matter movement after the death of George Floyd. Well, soon that same artwork will be honored and commemorated here at the Indiana State Museum. This was the site along Mass Ave last summer. Local artists collaborating with businesses that had boarded up storefront windows following protests over George Floyd's death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer.
We were all a part of the reaction. It happened in the public eye.
I spoke with Elijah Norwood and Gentry Parker at the time as they created Take a Stand, an interactive piece meant for people who walked by to stand in the frame and take a stand against racial injustice.
We were thinking this is a service that we're creating, right? A service for the community, a service for Indianapolis, saying that, this city gets behind taking a stand and, fighting for Black people.
It was really important that as we saw this taking place, that it was being captured and recorded.
Curators at the Indiana State Museum also took notice, going out themselves and photographing the images then as they were being created.
They were meant to be temporary, but the impetus behind them, the movement, the reasons, that information and those discussions continue today.
Prompting a brand new exhibit that will open June 5th titled Response, Images and Sounds of a Movement, looking at what occurred in the summer of 2020 and why.
How did we respond? How did the artists respond? How did the community respond to what was taking place?
Justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
The imagery then providing a sense of hope after the protests and opening the door to some tough conversations, now set to continue in the State Museum.
The fact that a mural with this kind of content and multiple murals, right, with this kind of content is going up in a museum, I think shows where we're at. These people were quick on their feet and thinking this needs to be an exhibit. They want to commemorate that moment. I don't know if that was possible years ago.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
The exhibit will display 6 murals painted by local artists from last summer. It will run June 5th through September 6th in the Legacy Theater at the Indiana State Museum. Audio from the artists will also be included as part of the exhibit experience, talking about why and how they created their piece. The State Museum will also hold a panel discussion with the artists on June 26th from 1 to 2 p.m. The Arts Council will open Art and Activism 1 year later, a curated group show at the Arts Council on June 4th, and the Indianapolis Public Library will hold a panel discussion on June 12th. Replicas of the murals will be displayed for discussion and will be available for checkout at the Indianapolis Public Library. All exhibits and events are free and open to the public.